தொடர்ந்தும் அடுத்ததாக நிலைபெறு தன்மை மற்றும் தொடர்பாடல் அதே நேரத்தில் வாழ்வியல் வளர்ச்சி தொடர்பான விடயங்களை கருத்திட்டமாக கொண்டு உரையாற்றுவதற்காக நாங்கள் அன்போடு அழைப்பது வெர்ச்சுசா நிறுவனத்தின் நிலைபேறான வளங்கள் குறித்த சர்வதேச தலைவர் திரு டென்வர் டி சில்வா அவர்களை அன்போடு அழைக்கின்றோம் தன்னுடைய கருத்துக்களை பகிர்ந்து கொள்வதற்காக.
It is my pleasure now to introduce Mr. Denver De Silva, Global Head, Sustainability and Facilities at Virtusa Corporation. And in this global leadership role, he oversees sustainable strategy and facilities management across international operations, championing responsible business practices, efficiency and innovation. And today, he will address us on the topic Sustainability and Facilities Driving Growth, sharing insights on how integrating sustainability into cooperations can enhance resilience, competitiveness, and value creation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Denver De Silva.
Good afternoon, everybody, and first, thank you very much for the organizers for organizing this very important event. It took a lot of effort for us to put 2 days aside and get here, but it was still worth it, and I don't regret a moment of being here. So thank you very much. And I think the organizers need a round of applause. Yep. So taking from where Victor left off, I would really like to speak about the sustainability aspects of things. And the question is, what does sustainability mean to you? I think we have to put our hand on heart and ask that question ourselves. Doesn't matter the regulations, doesn't matter what the people say, it doesn't matter what the law is. We all breathe the same air. Okay, so in the interest of time, I have very little time left here, so I'm going to move into this part of the story. So if you look at the planet is void of geographical and political boundaries when you look at it from any direction with any scope. It is the people and communities that created these geographical boundaries that nature doesn't seem to respect in any shape or form. So the pollution or the things you do in one part of the world certainly has impacts on the other. So we are small, we don't have to worry. They are big, they have to worry. It doesn't work. So in this complex time and a challenging world where we move from one thing to the other, it's about taking accountability and responsibility for environmental, social, and governance actions or our sustainability footprint. And how do we do that? It's about building a business which is considering your values on which you would then present your business model. So purpose, your values, which should be your policies, now build a business. So that's to the investors. And taking some of the things I saw, the fabulous presentations made by the GAs and opportunities. And I just like to leave a word of caution. I know I'm sort of stepping out of this and the concerns raised by the Deputy High Commissioner. For example, dairy. Dairy is considered not so healthy from a health point of view, and the big dairy farms in Australia and New Zealand are questioning themselves. We also have the fact that dairy is one of the largest environmental pollution industries in the world, probably even larger than fossil fuel. So, is this something that we have done due diligence? Have we looked at it? And it's a word of caution even for the investors in looking at it. So, if we look at the northern province and the talent that is available, I go back to the first statement I made. We are void of geographical boundaries. And in a digital world, like Mother Nature, these boundaries are very irrelevant. Today at Virtusa, we have about probably 75 to 80% of our headcount who are working from home. Pre-COVID, we had large facilities. So the concept of coming to work for attendance is no longer there. It's about purpose-driven return to work. It's purpose-driven gatherings. So those models need to be understood as we build infrastructure and investment opportunities, not because there is land, there is space, there is power, and we do it. And I will definitely go to Victor's area of the data centers and what they consume, and how we act on of caution whilst seizing the opportunity. No one is saying not to do it. You just got to get the right things done. So this is a slide I like to spend some time on. Unfortunately, I can't see it from here. So Sri Lanka, so those of you, I'm sure most of you know these stats, 22 million people, literacy rate. And I just want to focus on the word literacy rate. This high literacy rate did bring us to bankruptcy. That's a fact. However, with the digital opportunities that came through, we found that people are able to access information because, and I stand corrected here as per unqualified reports, Sri Lanka has one of the best internet digital penetrations per capita in South Asia, right? Our connectivity is great, our power is great. But let's understand a little bit more. So when you have access to information, that gives you knowledge, and knowledge gives you education, and then you make an educated decision. So when investors come, we should be ready knowing what is there. You don't have to wait for the regulators to tell you. And that goes back again to the first thing, what are your values? Right? And today, social and economic values reign way above all the laws that you can put, because it becomes irrelevant, right? So, talking about the opportunities, I'd like to speak a little bit about the telecom operators and the submarine cables. A general country may have one or two. We have close to 10 untapped. We have 10 times the renewable energy capacity that Sri Lanka needs. So with the AI and the data center requirements, we are sort of like an India +1 model when data center developers are working across in Hyderabad and Chennai and other areas to attract them, but it has to come with both. It has to come with the power, it has to come with the infrastructure and the business model. So putting all these three things together has been a challenge, but that challenge is an opportunity to explore, right? And when you're doing anything, build your support, and this goes to all the GAs who presented. Have you looked at the sustainability environmental impacts and got it cleared? It's not the approval. Is it cleared? Anyone can approve it, but is it actually cleared? So it's a fine line, but something to look forward to. So these are some of the other opportunities that we see. And when you look at even the renewable energy, you take Iranamadu tank, what are the opportunities of floating solar? The waterways that we have. It prevents evaporation of water, it gives you so many other opportunities. But these are the things we have to look at from a business perspective. And you have to build these things not void from each other, but connected to each other. And as you move along in these investment opportunities, it's about building people with the right values. I'm just reusing this word over and over again, because attitude and values has dinged us. And when we take on the opportunities of AI, and as Victor mentioned, will it take our jobs away? It won't. AI can't do anything on its own. It's like a turbo booster for an engine. The turbo doesn't do anything. It needs an engine to run. And people with AI skills will certainly replace or outrun, like any other engine, the one that doesn't have it. So building AI, investing in building AI literacy that can look at all these opportunities and problems. And why am I speaking of AI with renewable energy? How many of you use ChatGPT? What are the LLMs you use? How much of, today we know to Google search, but are we AI literate? Today, most of us in our company are mandated to be AI assisted. I am. And you start depending. It's like how many of you are phone assisted in your life? Anyone here without a phone will be very strange. So I think that's the point that I'm trying to show, the need for this energy and the outcomes that it can deliver and the opportunities you have from this. So on governance and sustainability, as we go to service clients and markets, our credentials of being a responsible supplier to the value chain or the supply chain is a must. Today, I'm proud to say Virtusa is probably in the top 1 or 2% of global reporting companies in the world. And confidently, I will say that that entire team that built it for Virtusa globally sits out of Colombo. Right? We're right on top. In fact, yesterday I was in Colombo and I left after a meeting with the board where we have got a carbon disclosure rating of A, which is equivalent to the top 1% in the world, right? And Virtusa operates in 60 locations across 30 countries. So running that at scale and on point to be world class is what the opportunities you have to invest in here. It's just up for grabs. Right? And it's a shame if we let it pass. People would think that Jaffna is late. No, it's not late. You're just seizing the opportunity. And the multiple things we can do, from tourism, sustainable health systems, healthcare, etc. So the other aspect is, I think we have some of the best data regulated systems in place. So when you're building systems and doing these investments, you've got to be sensitive to it. And I have this perception that comes from many, the EU or somebody is bringing regulations to knock us out. Certainly not. It gets fit. Only the fit will win the race. The podium is for the fittest, the strongest, and the best. Don't hide behind the regulations. Win and use the regulations to leverage it as an advantage, which is what we did at Virtusa. Today, at Virtusa, over 50% of our revenue is asking for sustainability credentials. So the question is, had we not done it, we have 50% of revenue at risk. But today we are confident that we can get there. So it's about sustainable business practices, leveraging technology and AI to get us ahead of the curve, irrespective of the size of our country, and leveraging the geographic opportunities we have here that nature has provided to us. So the IT industry is here. This is a fraction of what our capabilities should be. The government is committed to a $5 billion industry. So this is all that's been used. The rest is an opportunity for you again. And I'm just bringing these stats and things. For those of you who are actually looking at investment opportunities, is just to, this is sitting here, right? And Jaffna is just a quick flight away from Chennai, is much closer than going to Delhi or any other places. And we should leverage those connections. I heard the gentleman speak before in one of the morning sessions about the forum that comes to India. How do we coordinate this event to dovetail off that on time, right? And we present this data and say, hey, you're just missing out, right? And we create what I call FOMO, the phobia or the fear of missing out. That's what we have to tell them, right? So here are some of the international logos. Those of you, I heard a question about, is our investment safe? Will our money run away? Here are international companies that have put significant investment. Today, 3 of the companies listed here, Virtusa, IFS, and WSO2, is owned by EQT, which is probably the world's largest private equity, running at about $101 billion, 300 portfolio companies in their portfolio, and there are 3 here. How significant is that? And Virtusa is probably the engine of growth of the IT industry. And I've been with Virtusa about 19 to 20 years, and it's amazing to see that we produced over 100 CEOs who have cut their teeth or passed through Virtusa's hands at some point in their careers. And these are the opportunities you can be to create this and more. So I speak about a 7P system as we go along, which is public-private partnerships with a purpose and passion for people and planet. And I want to tell all of you who are investing and looking at it, keep the 7Ps in mind. Anchor it on your values, and success will be yours to take, and the opportunities is yours to seize. So I'm bringing back to AI. If any of you are investing here, please make sure you get AI updated, literate. We have the literacy to do it. In fact, a colleague of mine many years ago, when he was asked what's the best programming language to learn, and they said English. Because today you can write code. I can write code probably 80% close to some of the best engineers. So when the education system comes along and we're investing, don't invest in certificates, diplomas, degrees, and masters. Invest in being relevant and the ability to deliver outcomes. I tell the universities, they say, we have 100 graduates, why are you not employing them? I say, it's like saying I have 100 people with a driving license, but they've never driven a car. How many of you are going to give the car? Right? So we need to look at, and I tell the university students, you need to start doing your AI and micro-learning to keep fit and to stay relevant to the industry that you're going to serve in. So these are things as investors you should do, is making sure your teams, your staff are staying relevant to the changing business, not to challenge it and oppose it, but to embrace it with an opportunity. And that's something I think we have to do. So when I speak to some of the faculty, I said, when you take a batch of a 3-year or 4-year intake, have a tremendous responsibility of equipping them with skills and knowledge for technology and jobs that are non-existent today. How strange is that? So how do we overcome that? And the solution is you need to know the art of learning. The art of learning fast, the art of learning at speed, the art of learning at scale. And that's the only way you can stay ahead. And if we don't do that, you're just going to get left behind. So here's the green advantage opportunities that I've sort of brought on to showcase the opportunities that we have and encourage you to look at doing things right from the very inception. Not for the sake of doing it, not for regulations, because you mean what you say, you do what you do, and you can stand the litmus test of any audit or anything. And that's the place to be in. Never, when I joined Virtusa, we were terribly afraid of auditors. Today I love the auditors. It's better to fail an audit test than the actual exam. Why not? We can learn. And you drive that leadership culture down to the last man. It's okay to make a mistake, but we will make sure we will not repeat it. So with that, I've taken a little more time. I asked Shanti's approval. I've come to the end. I'm happy to take on any questions in the interest of time. Yeah.
Okay. So you were saying about AI that we have enough electricity to cater AI data centers.
Sorry.
Do we have, like, you have done studies on bringing
So we,
AI?
we don't have data centers. The opportunity to
I'm
invest.
asking whether we have the capacity to put on big data centers like how Hyderabad and Tamil Nadu is doing now. Do we have that capacity?
Let me answer. So capacity in terms of talent, capacity in terms of electricity?
Electricity, talent, and also the fiber optic capacity to upload.
So most of these data centers are not going really fiber optic. They'll be pushing up into the cloud, right? And fiber optic connectivity can always be built. So it's a greenfield development. So whoever who's coming in has to figure out the electricity, and obviously the data center will consume a certain amount, and then you can give a certain portion back to the grid. So if you really take a data center of reasonable scale, entire Kerala PTA will be consumed in one go.
That is what I'm asking. So, like,
Yeah, so you have to build it. But we have capacity to build.
We have the capacity.
The green energy capacity that is not tapped can do 10 times our consumption now.
Okay, and you on data centers, you said it will go to the cloud. How it goes to the cloud is via fiber optics or satellite?
So it's not one system. You don't have single point failures.
Okay.
So that's why you have multiple submarine cables that we can give very good latent redundancies that most other locations will not be able to do.
In that case, government has to spend on those infrastructure.
So it's really more than government. Government can do a land, but I think you need the investor who comes in with the whole model.
So do we have capacity of about $500–600 million data centers to come in? Because there is a person immediately to do it.
Of course. I mean, if they speak to ICTA is given an RFP recently for a government data center, must be very small, but it can't run only for Sri Lanka. We have to cater for you need a Google, you need a IBM, you need a Microsoft or some.
They are willing. I met all of these people in DC.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Minister of Digital and ICTA would be delighted to have a conversation with them. Yeah. Right, and you have to get a data center developer who will bring the Googles and the Microsoft in.
With the GCC.
Yeah.
And also about the dairy thing, it's not the dairy which is harm. It's preservatives what they use to store it as milk.
And also the fumes from the after effects of the dairy, that also has the methane pollution that comes in.
Yeah, they are using that as energy.
Yeah, so you burn it, right, at some point. So
yes, thank you.
These have to be looked at. I'm not saying there's a right answer, but you got to make a conscious decision. Don't be ignorant is not an excuse. We know and we are doing it is fine. No, we made that decision, right? Anything else? Okay, I've been a good boy, I've been on time. Kaushal is an old friend of mine. We've known each other for a long time. So thank you, Kaushal, for having us. And the lady who was the master of ceremonies at the back. Right, thanks. Thanks, Shanti.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again for that very thought-provoking session.